More in the liquid dew of youth. Smoke Pit Fairy Tales, Part 5. Chapter 5. Prarie Oyster. Thatch grabbed Stockton and Chuck and left the ball. Being too drunk to drive, they grabbed a taxi and rode to the King and Tun.
We're past last call,
McKenzie said as they pushed through the door. He was cleaning up the tables and didn't bother to look at who the patrons were.
Don't give a shit.
Stockton burped. McKenzie recognized her voice and turned back. When he noticed their uniforms, he smirked.
Happy birthday, fuckers.
Yeah,
Hey.
boy.
The trio cheered.
Capulet, Vickers, and Ocon didn't come?
No, they've got guts to smash.
Chuck answered him.
How's that work with Vickers and Ocon?
I don't fucking know, man.
Thatch helped himself to a bottle of rum from behind the bar.
Fucking science and shit.
Speaking of science and shit,
Stockton started before noticing the rum.
pour me one?
Yeah, dude.
I was reading about first American mech. It was this thing called the Daedalus. It was built to fly and walk.
Okay.
Anyway, I wonder why they named it that. Like, Daedalus built wings to escape an island. Then he flew too close to the sun, and his wings melted, and he fell into the ocean and died. Why would they name a machine after a guy who is a failure?
You're thinking of Icarus, dumbass.
Stockton had a confused look on her face.
You sure?
Yeah, man.
Huh. Oh well.
Either way, that story's stupid. If you're on a planet, you get colder the closer you get to the sun.
I don't know. I like the part about the giant maze and the Minotaur.
That's only because half the dudes you fuck are horned up, hairy ass motherfuckers.
Stockton rolled her eyes.
Hey, so how's Vigo doing? You talk to that guy anymore?
Nah. He was just meat. I left that shit behind the day I came here. It was funny. At my going away party, he dressed up all nice trying to impress me, and tried to stand by me the whole night. I just blew him off and got drunk, while he hung around all sad.
You know, you're kind of a cock.
I told him not to get too attached.
Chuck shook his head and poured himself another drink. The next morning, Thatch woke up laying in one of the booths at the bar, still in his blues. His back was stiff and he had a rumbling in his stomach. He had to grab the table and pull himself up with his arms. His spine wasn't doing him any favors. He scanned the room around him. Chuck was face down on a table, sawing logs. Stockton was curled up on top of the bar with a bottle still in her hand, and McKenzie was nowhere to be found. Thatch moved to behind the bar and poured himself a glass of water. The cold liquid brought new life to the desert that was his mouth. Stockton hummed and shifted her shoulder. Spit drooled from her mouth into a puddle on the bar around her face. Thatch went to the head, pissed, and washed his face. His pocket gave him a solitary buzz. When he checked it, he saw Samum had sent him a single text.
Last night was nice.
He replied.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Thatch went to the King and Tun's kitchen and cooked some eggs and toast. He put it all on one plate and took it to the bar. He poured 3 cups of coffee and yelled.
All right, sunshines, wake up.
Stockton moaned without moving, still covered in her own drool.
Rise and shine. It's devil dog time.
Chuck just groaned.
Come on, I got your eggs and coffee.
Thatch forked the food onto smaller plates.
Did you put cheese in it?
Chuck's hoarse voice creaked.
Yeah, onions and peppers too.
Stockton forced her head up to see the plates. She moved one arm up and grabbed a slice of toast, bringing it back to her mouth. She chewed with her face resting on the bar. Chuck forced himself onto a stool and grabbed a mug. He took a sip, then reached for a bottle of rum and poured a shot into his coffee.
Biting that dog back ain't a bad idea.
Thatch fixed himself the same cocktail. Stockton moaned.
Me too.
You two what, babe?
Just me too.
She took another bite of her toast, chewing it like a turtle at the zoo would chew spinach. Thatch put a helping of the messed eggs on bread and ate it like a sandwich.
Good night, guys.
Yeah, we got a lot done.
Stockton rolled off the bar and hit the ground with a thud and a groan. Her body ached as if she was the victim of a trampling. Thatch leaned over the bar.
You all right?
Stockton grabbed a bar stool and pulled herself to her feet.
No. I'm never drinking again.
Bullshit.
Yeah. You're right. Fuck my life.
She went behind the bar and cracked a raw egg into a glass, then garnished it with vinegar, hot sauce, salt, pepper, tomato juice, Worcestershire, and hot sauce. She downed the concoction with a single gulp and let out a loud grunt.
Fuck my life.
So are we gonna jam tonight?
Chuck asked Thatch.
Yeah, after I get home, jerk off and take a nap.
That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, it does.
You don't have anything to jerk.
Nah, I do. I take a penis pump and put it over my clit until it's 6 inches long, and I jack that off.
Right.
Chuck wasn't amused by her joke.
So I'll bring my guitar over at like 5 or 6?
Yeah, that should be enough time.
When's our gig?
Chuck asked, still not completely out of his hungover slumber.
Friday?
Yeah.
That night, Thatch cracked a beer open and plugged his guitar into his amp. He fingered the strings through a few old picking songs and warmed himself up before Chuck arrived. He liked his guitar. It was black, with white trim and trapezoid inlays. The bottom was rounded, and the cutaways almost looked like horns. He lucked out when he found it at a pawn shop. Usually, that model was expensive, but a few scratches on the back brought the value down. Thatch didn't mind. He thought it gave the instrument character. He wondered what it would be like to play on a wooden guitar, how the tone and feel would be if it were made from natural materials instead of acrylic. There was little Martian music he listened to. It seemed to him that the era of guitar gods died with the earth. When Chuck arrived, the only time he wasted was mixing himself a drink.
How's it going, babe?
I think I killed the hangover.
Thatch plucked the strings. Chuck pulled out his guitar and plugged it into the other amplifier.
You got anything besides the oldies you want to play?
I got a thing or two we might be able to put together. You?
Yeah, I got one I've been working on.
Well, let's hear it.
Chuck's guitar was sleek, slick, and matte white, with a single black stripe in the center. He checked to make sure it was in tune, then strummed the song he was working on.
I got the shooting star blues, ain't nothing to lose. Ain't no one coming to pay the dues.
I got a pack of smokes and a bottle of rum, and no one's gonna stop me from having fun. Grow a fruit from a poison tree, paint the town red down to Bandini. The music's loud, the guitar to pick. All my problems can go get fucked. Stars that fall in the whirlwind. I don't give a damn, I'm drunk with the wind. What do you think?
Not bad. I like the riff.
What do you have?
Chuck leaned back and rolled the guitar's volume to 0. Thatch leaned over his guitar and gripped the neck.
There's a few I've been working on, but I wanted to show you this.
I've got you ups and back. There's blood on the bed, but it's not from your crack. Tears are streaming down your face. Leather and chains hold your embrace. I'm filling your throat and holding your nose. Ripped and torn all your pantyhose. Everybody through it is on your chest. Tighten belts around your neck. I don't care what you've heard. Crying isn't a safe word. Tears running down your face. Bitch, I'm not done showing you your face. I don't care about your feelings. I'm a one-man bukkake machine. Make all your hoes even more loose. What the fuck do you have to lose? Treat you like a used piece of trash. Shove high heels straight up your ass. Fuck it till your eyes are blood. Crying just ain't a safe word.
I like that.
Right?
So the set's 5 songs. Want to do those 2, Go to Hell, and what are you thinking to finish off?
Well, think of something.
Hey people, what's up? How's it going? What's kicking? Thanks for listening to another chapter set of More Than the Liquid Dew of Youth, Smoked Fairy Tales 5. I don't know why I did 2 there. Anyway, as always, if you don't want to wait for me to read these to you, you can just go get the book on Amazon or wherever you get books. And then this audio book is already up and on Audible, so you can just listen to it there. But in the meantime, I would like to thank all of my channel members and people who have gotten the war chest, which is the box set of these books, and people that are fucking following over on Patreon, where I think we're on chapter 10 or 11 of Smoked Fairy Tale 6 over there. And I put those chapters up as soon as I get done with them. It has been a little bit slow the last couple weeks because I'm putting together the scripts for Smoke It Fairy Tales 7, 8, and 9. You know, there's a lot of carryover characters in them and all that, so I want to make sure that, I want to make sure that I'm not running the risk of, having a voice actor, show up for one book and then, not being there for the next ones, same voice all the way through. So that is taking a little while. That's like where all of my friggin' energy is going right now on that. But still, even with that being the thing and me being bogged down with that, I still did manage to get 2 chapters up on Patreon last week. So we are still moving. And then once I get these scripts all cut up, then, I'll head right back over, getting balls deep back into production on that. But I think that's all I really got for you right now. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And I'll keep you updated as I go. All right, y'all have a good day. Ciao. Here are your bloopers.
Sound check. Just getting down to business and checking that sound. Not messing around, checking the sound to make sure that the sound is sound.
That's the furnace.
Chuck. Dog.
I was reading about First American Tech. Mech. Whatever. Do it again.
Chuck. Ain't a bad idea. Fucking start reading that with some weird fucking accent. Biting that dog back ain't a bad idea.
I was reading about... I fucking can't. We're gonna stop it here.
Here, the dingo that bit ya. Fucking.
I take a penis pump and put it over my clip until it's... God, I say clip instead of clip. Clip. Fuck. All right.
Chuck leaned over. She went behind the bar and cracked a raw egg into it. A second hash brown. Regret. I'm about to drink some rum and it's gonna make me puke. Me puke.